Back to another video. I had a friend who requested to show me how I do the spines, or how do I do my paperbacks in Canva. And so I'm going to show you. I design all of, well, 90% of my books for clients in Canva, unless I absolutely can't. Canva is a great tool, especially if you're doing your own book covers, to do them in a cheap way without having to learn any kind of serious photoshopping or editing or anything like that. And as you can see, I've done this cover and several other amazing covers in Canva. I will show you. There's one author in particular that I do covers for. Her name is Kay Riley. And like these books here, these were all done in Canva. These are more simplistic. These ones here as well. I did this all in Canva. And then I did the runner part, this font. I actually did that in Procreate. You can get Procreate on any iPad for $10. I did these Tainted Deceptions, same thing, that using Procreate and Canva. There are so many great things that you can do in Canva, and this is a really cheap tool to be able to do that without having to spend a lot of money on Adobe. Not to say that I don't have it and I do use it. It's just not my go-to because it takes me a lot longer to do it than in Canva. Now, just saying, you have to have the paid version of Canva to be able to do this. If you don't, you won't be able to really do this because you can't really resize properly on the free version. So the first thing you're going to go to do is you're going to go to the KDP cover calculator. And you're going to select paperback. That's what we're doing today. Your interior type, which is I'm doing black and white, and then your paper, and which is white or cream. This is very important. One, it's important if you're doing any kind of like image headers or images in your vellum, because on white paper, the images are actually going to bleed a little more. You're going to have brighter, fuller blacks, darker blacks. Whereas in cream paper, because of the mix of black ink mixed with the creaminess of the color on the paper, they tend to actually tend more faded. So I tend to go for more vibrant blacks when anybody says they're doing cream paper for their interior. And then my reading direction left to right, and my measurements, of course, are going to be inches. The other thing about this too is if you're designing in Canva and you're doing it for like 48-hour books, and you're doing like deep black, they often actually will not print them because it'll be at risk of bleeding onto the other page. So just be aware of that. And then our trim size, which is 5/8, and then your page count. Now your page count is very easy to see. If you're using vellum, you can go to file and print settings. And once you've set all your trim sizes and everything, your page count will be down here at the bottom. If you were doing Microsoft Word, make sure that every single bit of your interior is completely formatted, images and all, and that it's set to the appropriate trim size. Otherwise, you can end up being off. Your normal like word count, like page count for just typing, like an 8.5 by 11 is not the proper size. You need to go in and adjust the margins on your Microsoft Word, and I'll look at doing a video for that in the future. Going back here, you're going to calculate the dimensions. It's going to bring this up right here, and it's going to show you what the cut lines are, and everything, you know, what everything is called. But we're focused on the full cover size here. I like to already just get that out of the way when I'm doing it, and you could just go to resize, or if you're making it for the first time, just creating a new document with a custom size. All right, once you do that, you'll hit calculate dimensions, download template, and it's going to bring up something that looks like this, paperback 5/8. And you'll make sure to get that open first, the zip drive. and it's going to have a PDF version and a PNG version. Now, the PDF version you don't need for KDP, which is really nice. However, if you're doing Barnes and Noble, PDF is the only way that they do it, and you have to actually upload that as a file into Canva first. But I'll show you that in another video. Today we're just going to concentrate on KDP. So you're going to want to upload when you go. You're going to go to uploads and you're going to upload that PNG. Now I already have one that's uploaded for this specific book, so it'll fit perfectly. Once it's uploaded, you're just going to click on it and you're going to stick it up into that left hand corner there and make sure that there's like it's nice and perfect. I really hate that bar sometimes. You want to make sure it's nice and snug in the corner. You don't want it to be going over or any like extra room, but it's really important that it doesn't go over because you want to make sure that it fits perfectly. And if you sized the background correctly, it should. So when you pull on this little tab, you're going to go all the way out here. It should fit perfectly snug. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is if you haven't already have them on like I do on everything, you're going to go to settings and you're going to go file settings and then you're going to do your show rulers and guides. And that's going to bring these up right here. And then you're going to drag these guides down and so you can see where mine are right here on every edge of every pink one on the outside so that you can have those there, and that's what's going to tell you where in this white space you can place everything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go, once you're done with that, you're going to go to file and settings again, and you're going to lock those guides. This is very important. And the reason is because if you're manipulating elements, you could actually end up manipulating a guide by accident and then having to fix that later if you don't notice it at first. It can be time consuming. The next thing I like to do when I've actually placed everything on there, I like to put the template back up and then do the transparency level just to double check that I did do everything right and see where it is. And make sure it's all in the right spot. Another thing you can do too when you're going into books that are further in a series, so like this is book 3 of Bite of Vengeance. What I did was I actually made a copy of the book before this, which was Bite of Desire. And I actually had put the ruler guides to fit around certain elements like this 3 here and her name at the bottom and then her top one up here, so that when I deleted everything that I didn't need in that, and it was only like because the background is so similar, all I ended up deleting was the titles on the spines, the number 2, and then the element in the middle. And then I was able to just keep everything else, which cut down my time. I just had to adjust everything to fit for the new sizing because it was a little different. And then everything else, you know, and then that way when her books line up on the shelf, they're actually matching or they're supposed to be as close as they can, because again, different spine sizes are going to be a little different. So this 3 might not be able to be as big sometimes or as small to make sure that but we want it to at least be the same within the area. And then you just delete that when you're ready. Go to share, download, and you're going to make sure that, oops, got ahead of myself. You're going to want to make sure that you download this as a PDF print. Even if you accidentally download it as a PNG, you do not want to export it because some of the time it's not supposed to happen, but some of the time it can actually decrease the size when you upload it as a PDF print. If you decide to export it as a PDF, this ended up happening with my friend Kay with this one. I accidentally sent her the PNG and I was asleep by the time she was uploading it, and so she just decided to export it, but when she did, it had actually shrunk in size. So make sure you're doing it as a PDF print and then download. And there you go. That is how you set it up. When you download, these guides will not be on there. But that is how you can set up the landscape and sizing of everything needed for uploading it to KDP. And just a side note, if you're like, oh, I really want to do foiling for 48-hour books or something, you can make a copy of this. And what you can end up doing is you just make a copy of the entire project, upload it as, like, say, 48-hour books version. And then what you do is you make a copy of this first page so that you don't have to worry about elements. And on the second page, what you would do is you would take out all of the elements in the background that you're not foiling, like literally everything. And then when you have all that, you change the elements to black. I don't know why I just bolded that. And you leave it on a white background. And then you would just download it as a PDF to send it. And then you would just remove all the foiled elements from here. So I would remove this and anything else that I don't want foiled. And then you can send that off to 48-hour, because on the white background, it actually automatically, with PDFs, it can come out as there's no background. And that's how I did it for a friend of mine. So that's just a so you know kind of thing. And there you go. You are all set. And if you have any questions, as always, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Joe McCall, or author Joe McCall, or Joe McCall author. Leave a comment down below, or of course email me, which is in the description box. Thank you so much. Stay savvy.